Hello and welcome, guys, and today in particular we're going to talk about emotional regulation skill. What is it all about? We need to regulate our emotions in order to remain in our window of tolerance. Window of tolerance is basically a state in which we can control our emotions, can control our actions, and can think normally. What happens when we have our emotions very intense, like if judging out of 10, anything higher than 7, 7, 8, 9, 10. When the emotions get this intense, very intense, our mentalization gets ruined. We don't think properly. We cannot understand ourselves properly or other people properly. We cannot control our impulses. We might make really bad decisions and so on. So emotional regulation skill helps us monitor our state and not let our emotions get more intense than 7 out of 10. So emotional regulation helps us regulate it. So what you can do in order to practice it? First of all, you can practice asking yourself, how intense is my emotion right now? How likely I am to act emotionally right now? Of course, it's easier said than done, but with practice it can work. Also, you can analyze your past experiences and write down all the triggers that trigger especially strong emotion for you. Like, for example, when you are getting late, you getting extremely angry, or when somebody doesn't keep their promises, you get extremely annoyed. So write down all the triggers that can cause extremely intense emotions. Most often we have very intense emotions when it comes to attachment relationships, so very close relationships or relationships triggering our attachment system. So it's very common. So write down all the possible triggers that can cause those strong emotions. What you can also do is that you can think about vulnerability factors, like what makes you vulnerable to react with strong emotions. Like most people, when we don't sleep enough, when we don't eat enough, when we are tired or stressed, we react much more intensely to our emotions than we would do in rested and fed and relaxed state, not stressed state. So what we can also do is writing down those vulnerability factors. What we can do as well is we can analyze small signs that can signal that big strong emotions might be coming our way. It's kind of similar, like if you have migraines. I have migraines, hello. I need to kind of notice what small signs appear in advance that maybe a migraine attack is coming, and this way I can be prepared. I can take a painkiller, for example, in advance, and this way my migraine doesn't happen. So there can be different kinds of symptoms, different kinds of sensations, different kinds of experiences or behaviors that you notice in your own experience, in your own life, that signal that big intense emotions are coming. And for those cases you should be prepared. So I can also recommend you having a diary where you notice what precedes strong emotions, and then noting it down and knowing in the future that if this is happening, probably big emotions are coming. Yes. And what you can already do here, when you find out some situations or triggers that cause very intensive emotions, you can lower the likelihood of those situations. Like, for example, if you notice that you get extremely intense anger when you get late, You just work on not getting late anywhere. Or if you notice that you are getting angry when you get late because you keep having thoughts criticizing yourself and shaming yourself for this, you can work on those thoughts using our basic cognitive skills, intermediate cognitive skills, and change those thoughts so that your anger is less intense. So what we can do is we can lower the triggers. This is one way. Second way is when you already notice that you are trying to fall out of this tolerance window, like your intensity of emotion is getting higher than 7. In those cases, you can use several exercises that can help you calm down. What are those exercises? One exercise is breathing with your stomach. So you breathe with your stomach, you inhale counting to 7, and you exhale counting to 11. Your shoulders should remain still. You're breathing only from your stomach. Like, for example, okay, 7 inhale, 11 exhale. You do like this several times until you feel calmer, and only then you decide what to do. Another way to calm your emotion is to go and put your face in water surface. It activates your reflex of swimmer, and it helps your brain to instantly lower stress level. So this is some magic, but it works. Okay, you just need to lower your face in water surface. You can also take ice in your hands. You can also practice mindfulness exercise when, for example, you look around and count all objects of yellow color, something like that. Another thing that you can do is different kind of mindfulness exercises, like, for example, um, grounding your feet and feeling how they feel on the floor, paying attention to this, kind of returning to your body, something like that. You can also do a meditation. Some people like making pauses, like before reacting, counting until 10, something like that. All of those possible exercises make our emotional intensity lower a bit so that we don't fall out of tolerance window. We really need it because when we do fall out of tolerance window, we can make really bad decisions. I especially recommend all those exercises and emotional regulation to people who are under a lot of stress. Like if you are having, like if you have small children, for example, and you don't sleep enough and they are shouting all the time and you are feeling like you are ready to scream at them or be violent with them, practice this emotional regulation skill as much as you can. First of all, try to lower your triggers, try to change your thoughts that cause those strong emotions. Secondly, observe and explore when and how those emotions appear. Have a diary or something. And third, what you can do is learn to pause, learn to stop yourself, learn to not allow yourself to fall out of this tolerance window, because once we fall out of tolerance window, it's all unpredictable what we're gonna do, more or less. So yes, this is it. What else? You can also use different kind of um, visualization and meditation in order to calm yourself down, like imagining a safe place, imagining like you are doing something useful. Some people like using sport in order to calm down. Like, for example, when you feel very angry, you just leave the room and instead you go do push-ups and you do push-ups again and again and again, and it helps you release those stress hormones and feel yourself better. So our goal is to never allow our emotions getting more intense than 7 out of 10. More than this is too much. It can lead to very bad actions, impulses, and so on. Can hurt ourselves, can hurt other people around us. So we need to pay attention that we don't fall out of tolerance window, that we always remain in tolerance window. For this, we need to limit triggers that can trigger us, change thoughts that can make us our emotions so intense. We can also work on our skills to slow ourselves down. I mentioned some of the skills, feel free to use them, and this will be your home task. Basically, monitoring your emotional arousal level, and when you notice it's getting a bit too high, you do some of those exercises, meditation, breathing exercises, doing push-ups, going for a run, I don't know, anything that you find that works for you to immediately lower your emotional intensity level. And never allow yourself to get emotions higher than 8 and 9 and 10 and so on. And this will be a home task. And please also write in your diary, in your journal, what you find out. Like try out different methods, maybe each day different method, and find out what works the best for you. Some people like it to count in their head, some people really find effective breathing exercises, some people really like doing push-ups, some people like something else. So find what works for you. It should be only safe for yourself and others, and this is the criteria. Maybe you will find that singing opera helps you, who knows. If it works, it works. And I also recommend you having different kind of exercises for when you are alone and for when you are in public. So for example, when you are alone, you can sing opera, and this way you can calm down. But if you are in public, it's not always acceptable to sing opera, so find some other way to regulate your emotions. And this was it. This was the emotional regulation skill. We have tolerance window for emotion, and we don't allow ourselves to fall out of this window. Okay, and I see you next time. Bye bye.